First of all, you want to write a really good prompt, okay, for this one. Okay. So I'm going to share this one with you. Then you can use this one as a reference. Okay. So what this one is trying to do here is that let's create a design and put that design into a new folder. And then this is where you're going to put your description of the functions. Okay. So you know what? Well, before I read this one, okay, I want to get this thing going first because it's going to take some time. All right. So instead we're just waiting. Okay. So I'm going to copy this idea right here. Okay. So I'll put it here. What happened? Uh, okay. All right. So let me just run this. Okay. So what I'm going to run is I'm going to use I'll use the codex first. Okay. I'll create a new project. Let me create a new folder. I'll call it lunch 2. Okay. 2.0. All right. So I'll just get this whole thing here. Okay. And then we'll let it go. All right. And I can let you to see different tools what they can build. Okay. I'll just go to the cloud code as well. I'll make a different folder. I'll call this lunch 3. Let's see which one will be better. Okay, I'll run cloud and I'll copy exactly the same prompt. Okay, so now let's actually go through the prompt. While they're working, let's see what I put. This is a high fidelity prototype requirements. Okay, based on the design above, okay, I want you to generate high fidelity prototypes. Okay, for all the screens according to the following requirements, and analyze the app's main feature and user needs, define a core interaction logic, and define the key screens as a product manager, and ensure the information is logical and well structured. Follow the real iOS and the Android design guidance, and follow the modern day UI design and HTML prototype implementation. This is very important. I want you to use HTML, CSS to implement all the prototype screens and use the font, awesome or other resources to do the assets and icons. The code structure, you want to put every screen into a separate HTML files, and you have an index file that include everything. I also want you to show a kind of like a phone screen frame to see the actual results and make the round corner looking nice and also all the real images. Okay, I want you to source that from some kind of this stock images website or some other places. I don't want to see the placeholders. Okay, and there's the top status bar, design constraints here. Make sure the interface is clean and concise. Avoid unnecessary details. The index page shows all of this. And final requirements, I want you to generate the complete HTML code according to the above requirements. Ensure it's a production ready and suitable for real development use. And add one more thing, this design will be presented to YC investors, so it must be highly professional and highly quality. Okay, it's a lot of requirements. But if you're reading this one, you should actually try to learn that as you're giving a prompt like this, since you're already using AI, the number one rule you should provide is that you need to be aggressive. Okay, because you know that all the output is based on this input you are giving here. So if your prompt is not aggressive, it's not ambitious, the result won't be ambitious, won't be impressive. Okay. So since like this one, the last sentence actually matters. Okay. Telling them that this is something we're going to show to the investors. Okay. It's not a student toy project. It's not a Hello World project. We want something really professional, which means that you got to look at today what the YC like select the candidate, their project looks like, and then we want to follow the same style. Another important rule, as you may know, is that as you write a prompt, you want to give as much context as you can, as much detail as you can. But sometimes I think there's a balance. You don't have to specify all the details. You give the goals, okay, your expectations. You set the goals and expectation. Let AI to figure out the details. Okay. So as they're generating, as you can see, they're turning on the design into HTML, and then later you will see that this is going to be a much nicer way to see everything. And the codex is doing the same thing. Okay. So this is pretty much the most powerful AI tools you can do right now. Codex from OpenAI and Cloud Code is from Anthropic. And the cursor, they don't have their model. Cursor use their models. So that's why cursor is not really as competitive with these two, but we'll see. Okay. All right. So this is the way I suggest you to actually start with design. Looks like Codex finished first, and then they actually created quite a lot of designs. Okay. Let me actually go to the folder to just make sure I can see all of them. All right. So we put everything under the workspace. Okay, so we got two versions. We got Lunch 2, that's from Codex, and that's a prototype. And they create so many files for us. Okay, all the HTML. But in order to make everything easy, you just open the index. Okay, so I'm going to open the index file here. And here's the design. Okay, so let's see what they have. They do put a lot of these ones. That's not necessary. Okay, we don't need this one to be on the screen. But anyway, so they got this part here. Okay, so let's see. So fun lunch under 5, and that's your budget, and you can search. As you can see, first of all, this is not a static image. Okay, it's a little bit interactive, but you can't really click on this one. Okay, so it's not functional. But because they're implemented at HTML and web pages, so they're not static. Okay, so you can scroll a little bit, and that's a lot nicer. The images that you can see, they actually provide some images for you, not a placeholder, not random stuff. Okay, and they have the navigation bar. So this is the home screen, just some kind of highlighting, and this is the search screen, and you just do this, and they give you a list view. Moving forward, they have a detail screen. You can see that, and you can send a mobile order. Okay, and this is a checkout, and then confirm your payment, and that's your order number and all the status. Okay, and this one here is what vendors are seeing. Vendors are seeing the order queue and their current cooking time. And the admin here, you can set up different items. You can change the options, configure a profile, and some other settings. All right. So this design, you look at this one, it's a lot better than the one you get from images. Okay.